Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Teixeira, aka UFC Vegas 13. We're going to the main card in the Strawweight division. 4th ranked Claudia Gadelha coming in 18-4, taking on 8th ranked Xiaonan coming in at 12-1 with 1 no contest. So first round, both went to work, started landing their own strikes, and tell you what, Gadelha landed a nice jab. It actually had Jan reeling back towards the cage. So Gadelha, she clinched, she got underhooks and got an inside trip takedown. Nice little inside trip takedown there by Gadelha. So Jan, she took her time, she fought her way back up, and then both started fighting in the clinch, both of them landing some knees. Eventually the ref said, nothing's going on here, so he separated them. Single leg takedown, straight to guard by Gadelha. And from there, both started throwing like some hard strikes. And Jan was landing some really nice elbows from bottom. One of them gave Gadelha a nice mouse under her right eye. And that was the end of the round. So I gave it 10-9 Gadelha for the first round. Second round, Jan used a nice combination of both her footwork and the jab. And basically confounded Gadelha and kept her at the end of her range, really preventing Gadelha from switching levels for a takedown. She had a really nice jab feint too that would also confuse Gadelha, and she'd feint with the jab and circle out, feint with the jab, and then she'd throw an actual jab and it would land almost every time. And anytime Gadelha got too close, Jan would then bring in the right hand to stop Gadelha's momentum, and then Jan would reset. So it was very nice work from Jan, basically combining her punches and her footwork. Really nice job. Now Gadelha did get some punches in, but they were like too few. Just low volume. So 10-9 Jan. So I had it even up going into the third round. So third round, Gadelha used an early close of distance to get the clinch. However, Jan, she got busy in the clinch with her strikes and was able to fight her way out. So Jan started doing what she was working in the second round. However, Gadelha attempted another takedown that got stuffed, and then another takedown attempt to get into the clinch. From there, honestly, in the clinch, Jan was more active, I thought. She was fighting off, any efforts by Gadelha to get her hips under for a takedown. And she also landed, a lot of strikes in that clinch. Eventually it got to a point where the ref said not enough work going on, so he separated them. And Jan just went back to outpointing Gadelha at range. Now, again, Gadelha would occasionally land, usually with a jab. But again, it was like too little, just too late. So, went to the judges, and all 3 judges had it 29-28 for your winner via unanimous decision, Xiaonan. Okay, so not a bad fight, but nothing, special. It was a good fight, just nothing great, not terrible. I still have questions about Jan's takedown defense. Now, she did stuff like 6 out of 8, but those were all in the second and third round when Gadelha was gassed and really just gave up on really getting them. So I still have questions about her takedown defense against maybe a more determined wrestler, against the likes of maybe Carla Esparza. Lord knows if Tatiana Suarez ever came back, she'd be in trouble. So I still have questions about her takedown defense. Thankfully, she's in a very striker-heavy division, so might not have to worry about it too much depending on the matchup. Then you have Claudia Gadelha, who obviously, the way she's been going, she's been basically reduced to a gatekeeper to the upper echelons. She went from de facto number 2 over the last couple of years. She has now been reduced to the gatekeeper to the upper echelon. And I see the UFC booking her in the same way. They're going to keep booking her against these lower ranked fighters, trying to get them up and her down and out. I thought it was very smart of Jan to not throw as many kicks in this fight. She throws that side kick a lot in most of her fights, but she barely threw any kicks in this fight. And I thought that was pretty smart because you don't want to risk those kicks getting caught and turned into a takedown against a grappler like Gadelha. For example, I did a review on the Janae Harding versus Jesse Mealy fight the other night, and I kept commenting how like 2 or 3 times Harding threw a kick and Mealy caught it and was just able to use it to either take her down or just completely stop her Harding's momentum. So it's a nice job from Yan to realize that she didn't want to employ a kick-heavy game here. Now for things to work on, for Yan, like I said, still questionable takedown defense. Keep working at it. Keep working on using the cage to get back up. She did a very nice job of that in the first round. Also, needs to work on her basic striking defense, especially her head movement. Gadelha tagged her a few times with a simple jab and even had her reeling in the first round. So she needs to really work on integrating some head movement. Get an actual boxing coach who will teach her how to move her head, bob and weave, move the head. Now for Gadelha, well, obviously she needs to hit the road. Her cardio sucks. It is terrible, and it's gotten worse. There's no way anyone can tell me that she's out there every morning getting in that road work and her cardio still sucks that bad. No way. She's not doing the road work, and it shows. So she needs to hit the road, get out there, start running. Not treadmill, I mean get out there and do some real running. Also, where is her chain wrestling anymore? She used to have, moderate to good chain wrestling. She would, if one thing wasn't working, then she would move on to the next and basically combine her wrestling and her grappling together. But she's completely lost it. I mean, if one thing didn't work in this fight, she would just stick with it. Whereas before, if one thing didn't work, she would move on to the next phase. For example, if she couldn't get the double leg, she'd move to a single leg. Or if she couldn't get the single leg, she'd move to the double leg. Or if you couldn't get the takedown, an upper body takedown in the clinch, then she'd drop down levels and go for the legs. She wasn't doing it in this fight. Also, her takedowns need work too. She basically went for 2 different approaches to her takedown. She would either go for the legs from way outside, or she would employ an upper body against the fence. She needs to mix it up. I mean, it was either one or the other, and this goes back to the chain wrestling. She wasn't mixing it up. She wasn't using combinations. It was either one or the other, and they just stopped working after the first round. So Gadelha has a lot of work to do, and most of it involves her bread and butter. So I don't know if she just completely abandoned wrestling in practice to work on her striking, but she needs to go back to her roots. Now for fights to make, sticking with Claudia Gadelha. Well, there's only one fighter right now who's not booked anywhere near her in that division, assuming that she gets moved down, and that's Marina Rodriguez. So Gadelha has a lot to work to do on her grappling. Rodriguez has a lot to work to do on her takedown defense. So let's see who can improve their work more. I think that's a very good matchup there. Now for Yan. I don't agree with the way the UFC does their matchmaking, but it seems like she's going to move from number 8 all the way up to number 4. I don't agree with that, but that's just how they do their rankings. I see no problem with giving Yan a title shot against Zhang Weili. She was talking about it in the lead up to the fight. The commentators set the narrative during the fight, and even John Anik basically set her up to make the call out after the fight. And now, I thought that Yan could have done it stronger and said, yes, I want the fight. She basically said, well, that's up to Dana White when he's ready. I'm going to chalk that up to the language barrier. Obviously, she doesn't speak English. I wish she would have done it a little bit stronger, but I feel that she also set it up ahead of time in the lead up to the fight, and then the commentators did the legwork for her, setting up the narrative during the fight. I have no problem with the champ taking on number 4. It wouldn't be the first time. Heck, there have actually been champions that have fought even lower ranked fighters than number 4, even in this division. So I have, excuse me, no problem with that matchup. And also, it is just the fight to make, and I am going to do a follow-up video talking more about that. So I want to see the title shot, Zhang Weili defending against Yan Xiaonan, all Chinese title fight. It'd be the first in UFC history. That alone adds the excitement. Plus, they're both heavy-handed strikers, both love to stand and bang, so let them stand and bang. I want to see that fight. Okay, so those are my thoughts on this strawweight fight. Nice work by Yan Xiaonan. Showed some, I said going into the fight that her takedown defense and ability to get back up would be tested, and it was in the first round. Second and third round, Gadelha, her cardio went to crap, so she was able to fend him off. But I still have questions, but I did like what I saw in there from her. Both fighters need to do a lot of work, though. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. If you like if you like the video, please give it a like, share it as well. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.